Hello, I'm Chanel and this is Spirited Stardust, and today I'm doing the Good Mood Decks hashtag VR to the waves of your soul. Now, I've already filmed this entire video, and as I went to pack everything away, I found this deck and I thought I could not do this hashtag on Good Mood Decks without this deck in it, because this is a good mood deck for me, and I will show you what it is when I take it out of its little baggie. So here we are. This is the Fairy Magic Oracle, and it is one of my favorites. You've got the messages on the back, which I love because I don't have to go into a guidebook. It's so easy to use. So I love this because 1, I find it adorable. 2, I love the messages. And 3, it just really hits that nostalgia for me. When I was a child, I had an imaginary fairy, and this is just resonating with that so completely. She would absolutely have looked like one of the fairies in this deck to me. It's got that childhood imagination magic to it, and it's small. It's a little mini deck, which I love mini decks because they fit into my hand so easily. It's bright and it's playful and it's fun and it's not alarming and it's easy to connect to. It reads amazingly, and it's just, yeah, it's got that fairy tale magic land energy to it. And it always puts me in a good mood. Look at this little cat sheet. Oh, like, and it's not going to, is it going to focus? Focus, there you go. Just adorable. Look at the expression on their face. Absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, the polka dots are just really, like, merry. Normally I don't like borders, but this one just has a personality to it, is what I would say. And that's why I love it. And it puts me in a great mood. It's also got an extra bit of connection to me because my mother purchased this for me because it was created by her friend. And because of that, it's got sentimental value as well. So I had to include it, and I couldn't do the video without including the Fairy Magic Oracle deck. So there's quite a lot. I would say that at least 40% of my collection are decks that put me in a good mood. So yeah, let's have a look-see. So the first one that I'm going to pick up is the Goddess Dream Oracle. So these are the backs and these are the cards. This puts me in a good mood because of the color. I find color is one of those things that is very indicative of how it affects my mood. So things that generally are brightly colored are going to cheer me up. They just do. It's like when you see a rainbow, you're just like pretty. When you see wildflowers, when you see hummingbirds, all of those things just elicit that feeling of wellness and happiness and joy. But the illustrations themselves are very sweet. It's got a lovely energy to it as well. I think the energy of the decks are also important. And the messages are also really comforting. And not just comforting, but inspirational, motivational. It's like a pep talk, pep you up, cheerleader. So for that reason, this deck is one of those ones that puts me in a good mood. So that was the Goddess Dream Oracle. I'm going to go through these quickly because I have so many. Next up, we've got the Cosmos Oracle deck. So that looks like this. I love the illustrations in this one. I like the more muted color palette. It's just very pleasing. It's got like this geometry to it as well. This is another one of those decks that also has really inspiring, motivational, comforting quotes, and the guidebook is lovely. It doesn't come with a guidebook, it comes with a PDF, which is one thing that I'm going to admit I really can't stand. I hate having to then go on technology, because I like reading the messages. I find that not only obviously can use it intuitively and with the amount of, you know, keywords and phrase it's got on there, but sometimes I pick things up from the guidebook. Like there'll be just a message in there for me. I also like the cardstocks. This is that matte that I like, more of a satin matte, and yeah, this just brightens my day and puts me in like that goddess mindset. It's not a goddess deck, but it's got that sort of energy to me. So that is the Cosmos Oracle deck. And look at that. Like, yeah, it's the one that chips because it's light, but I just love the color. I love it. Okay, next up we've got this little guy in here. This is the Roots and Wings Oracle deck by Kat Riles. So, pardon me while I get it out. These are the backs, and these are the cards. Now, I did mention in my walkthrough of this that I actually prefer the rose petal finish. Normally I don't prefer rose petal finish, but for these cards and the bigger size, it just works so much better for the artwork. It just really displays it and brings out that textural element to it, whereas I find the mini deck in the gloss, satin gloss, just doesn't do it justice. It doesn't bring it out as much as the other one does. So like I said, I'm going to still play with it for a bit because I just got it, but I have a feeling I'm going to want to purchase the other deck, and I will rehome this. Oh, and it looks like I've got a delivery, so I'm going to have to go and get that. But this is beautiful. This has got just, once again, this has still got light and shadow, but just, I don't know, it just brings it. Just I love the illustrations. They're stunning. I love the energy of the deck as well, and I think anything that's tied to nature is going to put me in a good mood. But I'll be back. All right, so next up we've got the This Might Hurt tarot deck. Oh, look at that. I love the holographic gilding. It's one of my favorites. Now this deck, once again, I love the cardstock. Cardstock plays a big role in putting me in a good mood. I love the art style. I love the color palette. This deck also makes me laugh. And it actually laugh out loud when I read the guidebook at the way that they describe things. So any deck that can make me laugh, that just puts me in a great mood straight away. But like I said, there's just something about the energy and the vibe that is just really lovely. Even the harder hitting cards just doesn't faze me. I can hear the message in a way that is, you know, still warm and lovely. And I remember this one, this was like something about like emo dudes standing by the lake. It was just, I don't know the exact thing, but it was funny. So I just think this is a really great deck overall. It's diverse, which I like to see, and not just like with gender and race, but also ability. And I like the representations of the cards, how they depicted it. It's more modern, which I actually enjoy. I know some people have a thing where they're not into modern depictions, but I like it. I dig it. It's more relatable. Look at the beauty. Oh, just look at the colors. I especially love the pinks and purples. This guy, he reminds me of Eddie Murphy. It's so nostalgic. Blast to the past. This chick reminds me of that chick in the zombie show. I forgot what The Walking Dead. I just love it. It's so lovely. Look at this person just playing there. Look at that waistcoat, that vest. Gorgeous. Having the coffee. Making it rain. So I'm really into this deck. It's a good mood deck. That is the This Might Hurt tarot deck by Isabella Rotman. Great tarot. Next up, I'm just going to get out of my little baggies. So in here, we've got the Asteria Oracle cards. Look at that color. I'm a sucker for a nice purple. And obviously, you know, the bling bling, even though it's not, it's the shiny one, which I don't like. But these cards, so pretty. I am a very visual person, so I am a sucker for anything that stands out, that catches my eye. And I just love this one. There's nothing really like it that I've seen. It's just really luscious, vibrant. It's got the space sort of element. It's got the foiling on it. Look at that dolphin and that sunset. Beautiful. It's got beautiful cardstock. The messages are great. Like I said, it's different. It has its own space in my collection. The only thing I don't like about this deck is that it only has like 34 cards or even less. And I'm like, no, I need more. But yeah, it's beautiful. And whenever I use it, it puts me in a good mood. It's something I guess we're going to be saying a lot during this Good Mood Decks segment. All right, in here we have, what's in here? Sometimes I forget what I've got in my baggies. Oh, it's this one. Energy Oracle cards. Okay, I'm going to say, okay, it's not my favorite cardstock. I'm not a fan of the gloss. This one too, I'm not a fan of the aesthetic. So do you know what I mean? It's like, it's so gaudy and just in your face. But oh, it's got the glare. Can I do anything about the glare? Move it over a bit, not really. It's so like, I want to say retro, but you know, like when you first start like playing with Photoshop, and look at this dude, look at that makeup job they did on him. Oh, look at this. Like, it's so ghetto with its graphics. And that's what turned me off getting it. I was not interested at all. I'm like, that's a typical, like, you know, when you first get Adobe or CorelDRAW, whatever it is that you use, and you're just playing around with the filters. That's one of those standard real dodge filters. I ended up playing around with my mum's one to film for the channel, and I liked the but dude, I'm sorry. Like, what it makes me laugh, like this Fabio dude here. Oh, it's such like romance, trash romance books. This guy looks so confused. Like, I didn't, what am I doing here? It's supposed to be Metatron. Oh my god, I just it's so cringe, but like in a good way. I like the messages enough. Like, I can't with the dudes in this. I like the messages enough that I got the deck. Like, it just has great breadth of topics that like, was it, they're trying to channel Gandalf with that, so it's like a Gandalf knockoff, but I still got it. It makes me laugh, just like I said, because of its cringeness. Oh, here we go. It's a man holding a heart. And this one, oh, but look, this is a mixed bag for me, I will admit. Some of them make me laugh and lol, and some of them I'm just like, oh god, that card, no. So, but then there's some nice cards. Like, this one's not bad, that's kind of pretty, that's a no for me. This is kind of pretty, giving me those like Red Riding Hood vibes. So yeah, it puts me in a good mood just because I laugh at its ridiculousness, just its old school, you know, ghetto-ness. Okay, next up we've got this one in here. Let's have a look. See, it is Jingle Jingle Go the Charms, the Inner Star Oracle deck. So already I vibe with the color palette. Like, that is stunning. This is very simple though. It's sort of just got the sort of geometric patterns and mandalas, but I love the subjects that it covers. It's also got like a nice affirmation or sort of like mantra or intention in the guidebook. A lot of these decks have excellent guidebooks, which is a big factor for me. Like, I love the roots and wings, but I hate the guidebook. It's just so basic. I want to hear more about what like the artist's channeled messages are. But this is beautiful. It's got the space vibe. I really resonate with anything spacey. But like I said too, just the colors, like this is like a deck of sunsets to me, which, yes please. And it's really gentle. But like I said, it's got the astro vibe to it. And yeah, I just really dig it. It's, once again, holds like a unique sort of little niche area that my other decks don't cover. And I just love the colors. So that's the Inner Star Oracle deck. Next up, we've got, what's in this little baby? Oh, I left one. Allow the unknown. Yes, I will. I'll do that. And I'm going to open you up and take you out. And this one is Messages from the Heart of the Divine. Now, this is a deck that I hate the cardstock. I hate it so much. It feels like chalk on my fingers. And I hate the Roman numerals. I'm not a fan of Roman numerals, especially when you get up into the 20s. But the messages in this are beautiful. This is such a like divine feminine deck for me. So it really helps me tap into that goddess feminine energy, which is something that I'm not great at. I do sit in my masculine a lot more, especially as a single mum, where you have to be financial provider as well and do everything, take out the trash and build the furniture and play all the roles, put on all the hats. But yeah, this one puts me in a good mood because it really brings that yin energy to me, and that state of receiving and allowing and creativity and femininity and, you know, mothering, not just, you know, children and animals and that, but yourself. Look how beautiful the illustrations are, just gorgeous. I'm also a sucker for the watercolor on the backgrounds, but this is a beautiful deck. And yeah, it brings me peace and helps me tap into other energies and changes my energy. I think that's the big thing about the Good Mood decks, is how they change your energy. So I could be having a crappy day, but when I take any of these decks out, I get like that breath. It's like you're taking in a deep breath and you're letting it go. And then you're just being present, and you're allowing the energy of the deck to, you know, permeate you and change your vibration. And that's what all of these decks do in a positive way. They're not like hard hitting. So this is the When My Soul Whispered deck. Once again, I'm not a fan of the cardstock. I'm not gonna lie, it's got beautiful matte edges, which is beautiful. This is such a sweetheart deck. It's really soft and gentle with the, you know, watercolor and line work and the white space. So I get a lot of peace from this deck. The messages in the guidebook are beautiful. There's multiple, like, it's the way it's set out. I'll just show you in case you're not aware. So you'll have, it's color, which is also great here for the color decks. You have like a quote, then you'll have stuff about the card, and then it goes into my light for keywords, your shadow for keywords, your sacred words, like your sort of affirmation, the chakra association, and then the raison d'etre, which is just really unique and just a great all-rounder. But yeah, this cheers me up, calms me down, and I like it's, you know, it's got a softness. It's just lovely, lovely jubbly. So that is the When My Soul Whispered Oracle deck. Most of these decks too, I'm going to say, are independents. Some are not, but I tend to have more indie decks in my collection than, I'm just going to open this baggie. It's the first crochet bag I ever did. Now I'm a huge crochet fan. So this one is the Arcana of Astrology, which is an excellent guidebook, might I just say. Absolutely fabulous. Look at these backs, man. Look at those. Oh, isn't that just rad? I edged mine in like a pink. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So yeah, once again, love the colors, but they're bright but gentle. Do you know what I mean? It's not really too in your face, but still a pop of color. And this is actually a nice cardstock. It's a bit glossy, but it's still nice. I love, like I said, reading in this book because not only do you have general messages, you get to learn all about astrology, which is fantabulous. So this is like a study deck for me. I get to learn new things, and learning new things always puts me in a good mood because I love to learn. And that's the Arcana of astrology deck. I'm trying not to say good mood too much. Hopefully I'm not, but you know, it is what it is. Right, next up, I got this little baby. And here, look at that button. How cool is that button? I'm a button hoe for show. I love cool buttons. And this one is the Gentle Tarot. So, linen cardstock. This is glossy linen. Who doesn't like linen though? I love it. I love the matte actually more than the gloss. But that already puts me in a good mood. When I see the linen, I'm like, yes, I like you. The guidebook, the way it's written is so gentle, is so nurturing, it is playful, it is sweet. I know some people say this isn't a good mood deck for them, but it is for me. It does put me in a good mood. It's not just a hug deck. I know people, there's a difference between those two. I've got hug decks that are not in this selection because they don't actually put me in a good mood. They're just comforting, but they don't cheer me up. So there's a difference between being comforted and like being cheered up, being filled with joy, being filled with happiness. And look at him. Like, it's an animal deck too. How can animals not put you in a good mood? They do put me in a good mood, that is for sure. So that is the Gentle Tarot. Gentle Tarot. Next up, we've got, I'm just getting surrounded with bags. God, I hate this box. So this is the guiding elements of Ayurveda, Ayurvedic path. I have to take a break from crocheting because I've got tennis elbow. I've only been crocheting for, let's see, I think 2 months. I'm already injured because I love it so much, but so it's killing me not being able to make a bag for this deck. So this is a new one. This is, once again, beautiful colors, gorgeous illustrations, really cool concept. So I don't have anything like this. Yes, I'm just going through the elements now, which are not so different, but it follows Ayurveda. So in it, besides messages, are like Ayurvedic practices, which I find excellent. To be like, hey, maybe do this, maybe try that out. Because I do follow Ayurveda, but like everything, sometimes you fall behind, like not fall behind, but you just fall out of practice. You just skip it one day and then you don't do it the next day, and then you don't, and you find yourself all of a sudden being quite mindless and on, you know, automatic mode, autopilot. And then you're like, hey, I haven't been doing any of the things, the self-care, for quite a long time. I've just been surviving and, you know, trying to just function on basic mode. And then the cards like this deck remind me, hey girl, there's stuff that you can do that makes you feel really good, that nurtures your body and your soul and your mind and your spirit, and increases your enjoyment in this life and how you interact with your other human beings and animals and plants and fungi on this planet. So maybe get back to doing it and start greeting the day with intention. So that is the Ayurvedic one. So I think that's something too. The good mood decks also, what's the word? Inspire me to be better. Like, they will give me that inspiration to make changes. So this is the Obsidian Oracle deck. And oh man, oh baby. As much as I say I love color, black is the color of my soul, my heart. I'm a goth, from, you know, former goth, I guess. Left that behind when I became a mother. Oops, sorry. Still sometimes bring out my goth gear and tap into that vibe, but not all the time. And this just speaks to that part of me that I still have deep inside, very deep, deep, deep. And that's why it's a good mood deck for me. It's really nostalgic. Look, Corona white candle. Oh, be still my gothic heart. I love the aesthetic. I love the art style in this. I love the combinations like Spanish linen and rose quartz. I think they're amazing. I love the messages that are in this guidebook, it, like I said, it taps into that side of me that doesn't get a lot of play these days. And for that, I'm grateful. It's so cute. It's so little and adorable. But I adore it. Like snail and bloodroot. It makes me like things that I normally wouldn't like axolotl and Marimo moss. Big fans of that now. Didn't even know they existed. Now I do. Learn something new. Okay, next up. This is basically almost a look at all of my deck collection video. Look how many decks. But it's not all of them. This is the Sensual seed. So this one looks like this. So once again, beautiful colors, lovely art, cool keywords. This is another feminine energy. Look at that cheeky butt. Decks for me. I love anything with a bit of nudity too. I'm big on the human body. I think it's beautiful in all its shapes and forms, and it puts me in a good mood. You see a butt, you see some boobs, you see some peen, I'm gonna have a smile on my face. So it does put me in a good mood in that way. This is also more of a also helps you tap into your sexual energy, which I think is great and helpful, something that sometimes also, you know, doesn't get as much attention, the sexual sides of ourselves. We are sexual beings, even if you're asexual. It's not all about actual sex, but that feeling, that energy. Anyway, that is the Sensual seed deck. Next up, we got the one that's in here. I call this one the Black Beast, La Bête Noire, and it is my True Black. Oh, just touching it gives me the jollies. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's like my favorite rose petal. So my favorite cardstock is linen, both matte and gloss, followed by a certain type of rose petal. There's different qualities of rose petal. I'm not a fan of all of them, especially the ones that stick to each other. This one does not stick. It is so luxurious. It is amazing. The creme de la creme of my decks. I adore the art style. I love the guidebook. I also love that it tells you about the art that it's based on. You get to learn some historical facts. And once again, like I said, not all my good mood decks are like cheery, so to speak. You know, they're not all vibrant and colorful. This puts me in a good mood because I have such affection for it, and it makes my heart sing. I think it's stunning, and even though it's like a bit pippish, still love it. Still love it, bruh. I just realized that all in orders, you're pretty much just seeing a lot of the same suit. Oh, look at this lady. Oh, look at you. Fierce, amazing, stunning. I'm just throwing all these accolades at it, all these adjectives. I love this deck. It's one of my favorites, and I think anything that's your favorite is going to like put you in a good mood. Am I right? Look, just a little guy. Look at him. It's funny, I always say him for cute little animals. It goes, my mind goes first to him. Look at him. Look at this little guy. I think it's because my first dog that I loved was a boy. Bless his soul. Rest in peace, Yoshi. Next up, we have got the Playful Heart Tarot. Of course it's going to be on here. This is, some people I know have said that this is a shadow deck for them. Not for me. It is definitely more inner child to me. Even the dark stuff, because I'm like, you know, I don't know about everybody else, but my childhood was not rosy. It was quite dark and isolating and anxiety ridden. And this just this is nostalgic though. This is very reminiscent of like storybooks you read as a kid, how you draw as a child as well. But it puts me in a good mood. The guidebook is adorable. It's so cutesy wootsy. Like everything that the author wrote is very kawaii and it has that vibe. So that puts me in a good mood because I can't stay serious when I use this deck. Do you know what I mean? I can't stay in a serious mood. I become playful and I lighten up, and that puts me in a good mood. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this guy. Look at this dude. Look at these people. Look at this lion lady. Yeah, so that is the Playful Heart Tarot. Alright, next up we got this one. Just finish this bag. This is a Soul Flower Plant Spirit Oracle. This is amazing. I am super trimmed mine. Which way do you go? Half of you this way, half of you that way. I love plants, especially flowers. I adore flowers. I'm very into like nature in terms of that. I'm into plant energies. Sunflowers, one of my favorite flowers of all time. Chamomile as well. And I love to grow my own. This puts me in a great mood. The guidebook is amazing for this. Amazing. I get so much from it, like multiple messages. It just really resonates. This is a deck that's always spot on for me. I think that's also something that puts you in a good mood, is when you get a deck that's just really accurate and reads well. But this also, like I said, I think it's just the energy. Some decks just have this energy that makes everything feel okay. Like it's all going to be okay. Every little thing is going to be all right, as the late great Bob Marley would say. And this is one of those decks for me. I realize how fast I'm going through this. I hope it's not annoying with the sound. I am going to be getting a new phone this year. I've had this one for 5 years. And I feel like it's time, because I also would like to improve the video and sound quality of my videos. I've just got to wait for it to come out. Next up, we've got Everyday Witch. These are the backs. There's cats on the backs, guys. Of course I'm gonna love this. There's kitty cats, like. And this has a cartoon sort of vibe to me. There's cats on almost every card, which, oh, be still my beating heart. A kitty never ever ceases to cheer me up, or a raven / crow, my two favorite animals of all time. Oh, bless, they're having a little nap in a crystal cave. So this, yeah, this is just, once again, very lighthearted, very accessible, really unobtrusive, playful, fun, nice to look at, nice energy. Cats abound. There's a fox in this one. Look how much fun that exudes. Like, you can't not look at that and not feel like the joy coming out from that card. So yeah, look, so lovely. So that is the Everyday Witch Oracle. Okay, next up we got to open this up. Open you up. What's inside? Show me your treasures. Oh gosh, this one, yep. Okay. This is a Threads of Fate Lumen. Look at that. Look at that decadence. This was one of my first cards that I saw on YouTube, where I was hooked from the second I saw it, because the quality is amazing. The artwork is amazing. The color palette, amazing. I love the messages, once again, in this deck. The guidebook is excellent. It's just beautiful. It's artwork. So I think anything to that just feels like art to me. Puts me in a good mood, because I appreciate art. Look at that. Look at that leaf. We know what that leaf is. And I can't help but, like, especially when they feel luxurious too. There's just something about holding something that feels luxe that makes it feel special, and you just have a bit more reverence. Even that simplicity, I can't say enough about how pretty this is. This is one of my all-time favorite decks in terms of the aesthetics of it. Ancestors, I'm going to show you my favorite card, which I love to get. You sometimes though have decks where you just get the same cards and you're like, man, this sucks. There's so many beautiful cards and you just given me the same messages. Like, I'm trying to do what you're telling me to do, but I want a different card. Oh, this one, I love it. Sacred Sexuality, with the roses and the moon and the sunbeams, and yes, yes, all the yes, all of that, yes, all of it. Okay, This one is up next. Almost done. Oops, almost done, guys. I'm blasting through. And then I started blasting. Okay, so we got Nature's Whispers guidebook. And, like, look. Pretty much any deck that's super colorful will probably have a very high chance of being a good mood deck for me. That being said, though, I know there are some decks I have that have a lot of colors and did not make it into this pile because of obviously the energy of the deck or the messages of the deck or the purpose of the deck or how I use it. But generally, if you're colorful, you is probably going to be a good mood deck for me. Look at that little bubby. Oh, reminds me of that. Was it Anne Geddes that used to do that photography of babies and things? That was like such a fad. I don't think that's around any longer. But this is, once again, anything that is tied to nature. And it puts you in a good mood because, one, it decompresses me instantly. Like, I just stop and remember to breathe and remember to be, and that I'm in a human body in the earthly realm. I'm not just a celestial being. And it grounds me. So I find anything that grounds me also puts me in a good mood because I do need a lot of grounding. I'm also a Vata, so I struggle with grounding. I have to consciously remember to do it, and so these decks too, the good mood decks, do that for me. They bring me right down into the card's energy and allow me to offload any energy that isn't mine, because also as an empath I pick up a lot of other people's energy. So these cards help me do that too. They'll either tap me into a different part of myself or tap me into their space, and I can offload other energies. Now, I know this lady is controversial, but this is a deck I've had since I was a child, and for that reason it's a good mood deck because it was a deck I had as a child, and you can't beat that connection when you have something from your childhood that you use and you continue to use as an adult. Yeah, there's just this bond, this tie to your past. I remember every time I used these as a kid, they cheered me up. I just had so much fun. It was just fun. I used to sit there and I used to draw the picture too. So whatever picture I got, I would then sketch in my art book myself. I used to laugh when I got this guy as a kid. I was like, no, that is like not a depiction of my romantic partner. I also used to laugh when I got the sexuality card because, you know, children giggle at such things. But the messages are also beautiful in this. They're really broad. Once again, it's nice to have like just a breadth of different topics. But it's charming, it's sweet, it works, it's accurate, it's helpful. Oh, here she is. I was like, this lady making me feel some kind of way. So I love that. I love the nostalgia of it. Okay, next up we got my little rose bag because match the theme. I love roses. Roses are my, well, I say equal first favorite flower. Lilac roses especially, because that's what my late grandmother grew. So this is the Rose Oracle book. So this deck, these are the backs. It's a beautiful matte. So I do also like matte cardstock, but a certain type of matte. It has to be more of the satin matte, not the scratchy. Now this, once again, it is just very peaceful. It is calming. It makes me smile because of, like, I associate roses with my late grandmother Sophia. I also am partial to the goddess or angel Sophia. It's pretty much one of the only deities, angels that I resonate with and I work with. So this taps into that energy for me. Once again, this is like a yin energy, feminine energy deck for me, which is very beneficial. It's something that I have to, you know, always include in my practice to make sure I don't go too far into my masculine, because that does burn me out and make me less patient and less loving and less gentle, and I need those qualities too, especially as a mother to my daughters. It's good to have that balance, and this balances me. So that's another thing that puts me in a good mood. Any deck that balances my energy puts me in a good mood, because I don't feel like I'm leaning too far one way. It's nice to get that equilibrium. But yeah, this is stunning, and I love it a lot. I like it a lot. Next one. in this bright, colorful bag. Look at that button. Isn't that cool? It's got candy in it. Sweet. And there's a button. This reminds me of Wreck-It Ralph, Vanellope von Schweetz, Candyland. And inside is the energetics of color. I don't know, I still, the backs kill me because I'm just like, that's not what I would put on a deck. That's all about color, the whole thing. So I was looking for ages for a color deck. I didn't like the pictures in the other color decks. They were so just stock standard, you know, either just a picture of a texture or what do you call it, too computer generated. This one had just, look, I'm not a big fan of the real humans, I'm going to be honest, because I feel like these are, you know, these are legit people. But I like the selections of colors that they've chosen. Like, I love this one. Oh, this is beautiful. The surfer, love it. Pregnant lady, yep. I love the colors that they've chosen. So this had a really cool selection of colors, and it's a lot of cards in this deck, which is also a big plus for me. So I do love cards that have decks that have a lot of cards. Like, the more the merrier. I want a chunky deck. Oh, it's one of my favorites. Yellow gold, look at that. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Can't get enough red either. This is also nice because it's got people of all nationalities in it, which makes me happy. Oh, speaking of happy, like, how can not, like, you look at that card, you're in a good mood. You are vibing now. Like, even if you weren't before, you are now. You are absolutely vibing. So I also love the deck with this because in the meanings, they've got meanings for your mind, your body, spirit, heart. So they address like everything, which I think is very, very nice. Very nice. But this puts me in a good mood because I love the deck. It's beautiful cardstock too. It's just good quality all around. I'll show you the guidebook too so you can see what I mean. So you've got beautiful color image, and you've got physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and an affirmation. Just stunning. Just stunning, stunning. So that is the energetics of color. Obviously an indie deck. All right, next up we got this boy. So this is a new addition to my collection, the Alchemist's Garden. God, I hate tuck boxes. Cannot wait to make a bag for this deck. So this is the box, and this is the front. I love this one because, once again, plants. Instant happy for me. Plant, yes. The types of plants is what's really mad about this. Like, and there's also some animals and amphibians and fish. So it's not just plants, but I love the selection. You don't normally get, you know, the coca plant for the devil. You know, the Amanita muscaria mushroom for death, you know. There's some ginseng, some aloe, some salvia, and what else we got? Turmeric. Just really cool breadth of some lion's mane mushrooms, sacred lotus, beautiful horny goatweed. I just love the plants in here. I'm learning so much. This is one of those learning ones. The book is amazing. Once again, amazing messages. And yeah, it also is a great reader. So you also have decks that you just connect to straight away. Carnabas, Ephedra. Oh, look, the Sonoran Desert Toad. There's a lot of like psychedelic stuff in here, which is cool. And it talks about how that can, you know, change your life, which it did for me. But this was a great deck. I also find I like decks too that appeal to all people. Like, I find the men in my life really like that deck. Also, I tend to like this one as well. This is brace yourselves. So there is nudity in this one a lot. This is the Tarot Erotique. These are the backs. So fun. Like, that's just a fun time to me. And everything about this card is like fun times. Once again, like I said, I love the human body. So seeing the human body naked does it for me. Puts me in a good mood. I always giggle and just vibe. I just vibe with this deck. It just reads really well for me. And there's like lots of naked people, but I love the color. I love the like psychedelicness of it. Like, Jesus, congratulations. And yeah, it's very vibrant. It's very in your face. It's very pop, bam. And I like that. It wakes me up. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I'm not really, you know, engaging in the world, I pull this out and I'm like, hello, I am awake. There is a tower of burning dicks. Like, it's great. I love it. So that's the tarot erotique. I'm just going to have to do a runner and grab the other decks, because my kids had this one on their desk. This is the cute cat tarot. Bruh. I didn't do the cute and adorable decks because I got a lot of cute and adorable decks coming. I know that will cross over into this. These are holographic rainbows. This is a cute kitty deck. Like, the sweetness and the adorability is just too much for me, and it makes me laugh. There was a card, especially the tower. I don't know if we'll get to it, but I'll point it out if we do, where a mouse is like burning the cat tower down. And it just makes me laugh so much. If I laugh, it's obviously a good mood deck. Any deck that makes me laugh is going to brighten my day, because there's nothing that changes your mood like a giggle. But like I said, this is just very sweet. The colors are really, you know, soft pastel. Here's the tower card. Look at that mousey burning it down. And yeah, it just puts me in a great mood. And I love it too because my kids use it, and it puts them in a good mood and they have a giggle. And anything that makes my kids happy makes me happy. So these are just like not just good mood decks. These are happy decks. Bring you some happiness. This one might seem a weird choice. This is Magic and Mediums. I just got this and I wrecked it. I went to do the edges in gold, and I used a new texture. So that's me trying to edge it, and it bled everywhere. And then I had to use like nail polish varnish to remove it, and I ruined the card. But it is what it is. I'm not going to cry over ruined cards. This is a beautiful linen cardstock. This is a limited color deck, and I still like it. There's just something so evocative about it. I adore the artwork. I like the color palette. I like the theme. So this is something I didn't have before. I'm very interested in like working with increasing my skills. And so this is obviously helping me to do that. But I just really like, when you just like a deck, just like, I don't know why, but I just really like you. I'm digging your style. I like your vibe. We be flowing. And you put me in a good mood when I use you. I feel like reinvigorated after I use you. I feel, you know, I have a fresh perspective. I have some guidance. And yeah, I'm, you know, flowing with the universe. And that's what that deck does for, this deck does for me. I just wish I had never used that goddamn paint pen. I should have used my old faithfuls that I know work. Right, I'm going to have to get my desk decks now. I'm not organized, as you can tell. So these are the decks I keep on my desk because I like to use them on the daily because they all make me happy. That's why they got their position. They earned their position on my desk. So this is a sparkly lenormand. Look at that. Oh, and it's got the like peach. Oh, love it. Love the color. I didn't really want a lenormand deck until I saw this, and then I was like, I have to have one now. I have to have it because I have to have this artwork, these images. Adorable, adorable. It's that kawaii style. My kids love drawing that kawaii style, so we'd like to do pictures on our front porch in oil pastels, and they obviously love this deck. Snack life. They love this deck as well. It's just really accessible. It's not confronting, even with a scythe. You know, even with the harsher images in this, she's just done a beautiful job. Look at that fish. Oh, I love it. And yeah, I'm learning how to use this, and I do it daily, and I love doing it. Like, look, even this coffin picture. Coffin, but like, how gorgeous is that? Always puts me in a good mood. And like I said, I'm learning something new. I'm learning a different form of cartomancy. which is also great. I appreciate the knowledge. Okay, so next up in this bag, oh, just look at the colors on this yarn. How stunning. That's great southern yarn. It's one of my favorite yarns ever. Just give a shout out to them. This is the Nest of Light Oracle. I love the cardstocks. This is linen, matte linen. I love the colors. I think that's just stunning. I love the artwork, even though this is modern. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh, I have to have this deck, even though it's a bit hard to use in terms of how it's used. It's just about energies. So it's not like a usual oracle deck, but just the images, even like that's a salt lamp. It's a picture of a salt lamp. But I really resonate with it. I really like looking at it. It pleases my eyeballs. Like perfume magic. It pleases me greatly. Does Dobby please the master? I just like this one. This was the card that made me purchase the deck. It's just a lady holding lavender. But for me, that brought me right back to when I was in France and I was in this little village called Roussillon. And there was lavender everywhere. And I bought lavender flavored ice cream. And it just has that vibe to me. So it's transporting. That's what this deck does. The imagery, I actually feel transported into the image. So it's that sort of, people call it path working. I haven't really done that, but this was effortless for me with that. I just felt like I was there and I could feel the energy of these cards. And that's, like I said, it puts me crystal grid. Love it. Look, clean and organized. Yes, bitch, yes. I'm with you in that. I feel in that energy instantly. Banging that drum. Absolutely. Seeking advice from my elders. Yes. So great advice too. Anything that has really good advice, I also like. So next up in this red gold baggie. Oh man, it's not going to be fun cleaning up after. Someone should do a video showing like the aftermath of like pulling all your decks out. Pulling your deck out aftermath. Sacred Cycles. I love this card, this deck. This transformed my moon time. I've always struggled with menorrhagia, endometriosis. I finally connected to my womb through this deck. I learned what my womb needed from me, how to also like tap into my feminine, and what I was shedding, releasing that cycle. I use this every moon time, but I also use it just daily. Like, what advice do you have for me today? What energy should I be tapping into? What mantra should I be saying? What affirmation? This is beautifully written. And it just, yeah, this was transformative for me. My cycles are only a week now. They used to be 2 weeks plus. They're not as painful. I feel a purpose with each one. I'm not just trying to like get through it. I'm actually present and in it and connected to it because of these cards. So they always put me in a good mood because I just have such gratitude and affection for them. They have helped me immensely. And like, yeah, how can you not be put in a good mood when you've been struggling your whole life and a deck of cards helps you, you know? Okay, next up in this, I call it my disco bag. We all go tumbling down. We've got the Sacred Self-Care Oracle. So by the same creator as the previous deck. I love her writing style. She's just amazing. I don't as much enjoy the pictures in this. I will admit, it's a bit too cartoony for me. And the colors are like full on. But it puts me in a good mood because it allows me to take care of myself. I know some people said that they don't buy with it because they didn't feel like that's what they needed that day. But this is always bang on with what I need to take care of myself. And you think, how can you not know what you need? It's like I said, sometimes I'm just overwhelmed with everybody else's energy, and not just like my kids, my cats, the house's energy, the energy of the people outside, that I have trouble tapping into myself. Unless I do, like, you know, I go out and I ground and then I drink water and then like I have to do all these things to sort of clear my energy field and smudge myself. Whereas this straight away goes like, bitch, go read a book. Just go read a book. So I drop everything. I go do it. I do it with intention. I do it with purpose. I do it with presence. And then I am revitalized. I am rebooted. I am refreshed. I am myself again. So this this always puts me in a good mood because it helps me be my best. That's all we want. And the last deck I'm going to show you today in this little baggie is my home tarot deck. So I was not expecting it to be this deck. I thought it was going to be the True Black, but it wasn't. I don't think you can really choose your home deck. I think it chooses you. Mine was the Sensual Lucid Dreams Beginners deck. Look, I do resonate with the sun, so this has like sun energy for me. So I feel like I'm tapping into the sun's energy. I love the linen cardstock. I love the gold foiling. I like the colored palette. Like, I know it's like mostly beiges and muted earth colors, but that's what I vibe with. That's what most of my house is decorated in, besides my bedroom, which is lilac and peach, sort of like this. I love the message. It's like easy for me to use too. Sometimes you just don't want to have to do the deep reading like straight away. I've got my keywords there which help a lot. Like I'll be like, yes, okay, that's what I'm vibing, that's what this card is. Thank you for not making me, you know, have to work too hard to get the message. But like I said, it reads extraordinarily well for me. Every time I need to clarify too, if I am a bit like vague, bang, it's like clarify, you know, and I'm like, yes, okay, I got it, I got you, I understand you, you understand me. So yeah, it always puts me in a good mood because it's my home deck. I'm like, even if I've used another tarot deck that day, if I felt like I didn't get like what I needed, I'm like, you know what, I still need some guidance, or I still need someone to like tell me what's up. I get my home deck out and my home's like, yeah, here's a message. Let me simplify it for you. Let me break it down so you can get what we're trying to say. But yeah, it just makes me happy too. It's like it's not dark either. Like that's the devil, and that's still not, it's not that dark to me. So there's no darkness in this deck for me. It's just, like I said, it has that solar energy. If anyone knows any other decks that have a really like good solar energy and a nice aesthetic, let me know, because I'm always trying to increase, you know, the sun's energy in my life. And I'd love to do it with a deck, but this deck, yeah, is my home deck. So it always puts me in a good mood. I think that's everything. There's probably decks that I've forgotten, but all of these put me in a great mood, which is why I also, like the way I use my decks is I rotate them daily. So I have certain decks I use on a Monday, certain decks on a Tuesday. So that way, you know, I get to use every single one of my decks every month. They all get a go. And that's what works for me. But yeah, those were my good mood decks. We've done it. We've come to the end. Thank you. I'm going to leave you with this picture while I say goodbye. I do love tarot and oracle decks so much. They are transformative, amazing. They're just, I've talked about it in my intro video, how they were really life-changing for me. They added so much to like my journaling, to my introspection, to my self-actualization, to accessing my intuition, to having guidance, having comfort, having inspiration, motivation, a loving voice to tell you how to take care of yourself. They just are so many things to me. It's like a village of everyone you need. All the people you need in a village, decks can be that for you. So, and you don't feel quite so alone, and you don't feel quite so confused and unsure. They are a guiding light, I guess. And yeah, and I think all my decks in a way put me in a good mood because of that reason. But yeah, but some I do use for shadow work, some, you know, I use for strength, other reasons, you know, a hug. So they're not exactly just good mood decks. It's like I need them to work something out, work through something. But yeah, most of my decks, like I said, I think all of them put me in a good mood in some way. These ones just really bring joy. So when I think of this hashtag, I think what brings me joy, what lights me up, what makes me laugh, what brings out my playfulness, what brings out the lightness and the brevity. And that's what these decks do for me. So I hope you're having a marvelous day. And as always, stay wild, Star Child.